experience more appreciation in your life or gratitude. It's one of these things, especially in our personal spiritual development community. It seems to be thrown around, and sometimes it sounds a little bit like an outside package of this is what it means to be spiritual or empathetic or whatever. But if, however, you consider yourself on a spiritual path, that means is that you have experienced something in your life that caused a lot of pain or struggle or feelings of emptiness or something that feels simply off. So if you started in life in a way that created lots of inner conflict within yourself or emptiness within yourself, it's very difficult to appreciate anything in your life. And to basically to plaster it up with a facade of toxic positivity that is being thrown around all over the place in our community, it simply feels off. It's an outside package and facade, and deep inside you see like, wait a minute, you are basically wounded AF. So I experienced this a lot in my life. I grew up in a pretty nice place in a nice area of the Netherlands, but if you have watching my videos for some time, when I go through my own personal spiritual development journey, I've shared a lot of things of where I'm actually coming from. In 2013, I left this place. I left because of the restlessness I was experiencing, the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the burnout. I thought if I go abroad to another place, then everything is going to be different. And it certainly was different. Many say, well, you can't, the grass is never greener at the other sides, but at least you can see it from a different perspective. And I think this is really the lesson that I wanted to share in this video. Mainly to see things from a different perspective, because now, as you can see, I am back. I'm back in the Netherlands. I'm back where I came from. And actually in this video perhaps I want to share two different topics all in one. So it's going to be a two-in-one. First of all, if you can experience like someone who's very restless and you need to travel, you need to live abroad and go through lots of crazy things that most people are not going through. Most people, they follow the path that society has been laid out for them. But if you decide that path is simply not for me, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to live abroad, travel, live like a digital nomad and whatnot. And then you come back, and coming back to where it all started, it may feel a little bit like a failure, because you're coming back from where you left off, and actually what you actually wanted is, is to show the world how adventurous you are and that you can make it anywhere in the world. Now, if you've been watching my videos, I've shared when I was going out for my walks in nature in the English countryside, which was lovely, it was great, it's a beautiful area, but I was living in Southwest London. And living in Southwest London, it was absolutely draining my life force energy. And going out into nature where I could recharge and whatnot, it took me like an hour to get there and coming back. So basically I was not feeling like I was building any kind of momentum in my energy levels. And now I'm here back at the coast. And the coast is really energizing my soul, and this is really exactly what I was talking about as well in my video where I shared about 2023 is going to be a year of spiritual alignment. And if that means you got to go move to another place in order to rebuild yourself, don't see it as a failure, like something didn't work out, because once again you have experienced the field from a different perspective. You are now a different kind of person with a different perspective of the world. You have developed yourself in a different way, and now you can see the place where you left from a different angle with a higher level of appreciation for what it is and where you're coming from and for who you are. Because remember, the place where you came from, that is where your roots are at. That is where you could ground yourself and anchor yourself, which is very much needed if you really want to climb up this ladder of self-actualization. Is you can find a place where you can anchor yourself and ground yourself. And if you move all around the place, it can be sometimes challenging to build a base for yourself. Rebuilding a base is what this is all about, is a place where you can call home, because if you have that base, optimizing your root chakra, your lower chakras, your personal empowerment center, that is where you can really start rebuilding pieces of momentum of your spiritual journey as well. Does it mean you have to stay at one place? No, but building something starts by appreciating for what you have and always already had. But if you couldn't appreciate it, you feel the restlessness and the emptiness, and you go all around and you're spinning your wheels, you're burning yourself out, you are realizing other places, it's not home. It can be pretty, it can be beautiful, and you can experience the excitement of going through a different kind of environment where you can accumulate experiences, but eventually it's coming back at this base, at this root. Rebuilding the tree of life, the tree of consciousness, starts with connecting and reconnecting with the roots. So I think this is where I start to rebuild myself and my creative work, my spiritual work as well. And I got a couple of ideas and visions of what it is that I want to go further into, and I've mentioned this already a couple of times, and it comes back to the whole elements of our ancestral lineage, which of course, like any European country, the Dutch played a major part in that as well, in the terms of our history and colonization, the slave trade, and influencing the way tribal people were living and operating around the world for several centuries, and how we have influenced that with our trades. Now that has impacted the way we were connected to nature, connected with elements, with the spirits, and how we were connected with the land. And now it seems like we are disconnected from that, and now we're going through all this kind of turmoil in the world. So appreciation, realizing, like, yes, if you have the restlessness, go and travel, go and accumulate experiences, go out there in the world, see what works, what doesn't work, and then eventually come back at the place where it all started, with a new upgraded version of yourself, with a new vision of yourself, and how you can appreciate the environment of where it all started, and realize that that is the place you could call home, and where you can anchor yourself for rebuilding new levels of momentum, of spiritual momentum, and where you can rebuild your creativity, your expressions, and what it is that you really want to bring to the world. And then of course also realize it's not about failure, it's about starting over with a new level of appreciation. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, leave a comment below, and I see you in one of my next videos. Take care for now.